Em kalau na ma giàu na buồn chứ nó bữa hay nặng khâu nặng bữa bèn quá.
Behind every strawberry, there's a story.
Tam có nên chữa lông nó nên cam nhé, chữa lông nó nên suy nhé.
The snap of the vine is just the beginning. For Chun Se Lee, the owner of Lee's Berries in Sacramento, life wasn't always this sweet.
Giàu nhé, bữa luôn mình sẽ bữa em về quạt quá tập buông nhé.
The security of all Southeast Asia will be endangered.
At 10 years old, Chan and her family fled Laos during the Laotian Civil War and lived in refugee camps in Thailand. Thousands of Iu Mien people helped the U.S. in Southeast conflicts fighting communism.
Chẹp nhà nghe toàn nhưng mà bữa ít giờ chạy nhưng mà bữa chỗ tụi nhẹ vậy nha. Điều con chảnh buôn chạy nhưng cho hồn là bữa khen chứ chẳng cháu. Nhớ quê tập buôn là buôn.
Sensei Turn, a writer who's preserving the stories of his community, says this story is a familiar story for many Iu Mien families, including his own. Because of their migration and political involvement, Iu Mien Americans also identify as Southeast Asian.
Iu Mien people are indigenous Chinese people who have always lived off the land and fled conflict. So they migrated to Southeast Asia, where they were caught in the crossfire of the Vietnam War.
After being granted refuge in the United States,
there are 30,000 of us here, with 15,000 being in the Sacramento area.
Chan and her family came to Sacramento more than 30 years ago. With no education and children to feed, she worried about finding work. But there was one thing she did know. And so she did, learning a trade passed on from Japanese Americans to Hmong immigrants to Iu Mien people.
Iu Mien strawberry farms is a cultural phenomenon in Sacramento. It's part of our identity as Iu Mien Americans, and I think it's part of our identity as Sacramentans.
A story of survival that grew.
There are about 100 strawberry farms run by Iu Mien people. Most of this was through word of mouth. Our parents pretty much calling each other like, hey, this is how you can make a living.
After years of working on other family strawberry fields, the family finally saved up enough money to lease their own land. Even their last names tell a story.
This place is called Lee's Strawberries, short for Se Lee.
Se is a prefix found in Iu Mien last names.
When we went through the refugee camps in Thailand, the way they processed us, they affixed the Thai word Se, which means clan. So the direct translation is clan name.
And Lee is one of 12 Iu Mien clan names. The Se Lee family turned this barren land into the lush field it is today. On Florin Perkins Road, customers are rolling in.
Hi.
Some with their own strawberry stories.
When I was young, I used to help my grandparents at their strawberry stand, and this is the closest thing that I can get to that. So we come here every week. I just think it's important that my kids and my family knows where their food comes from.
Sen also standing on familiar ground.
I have become a strawberry snob.
And earned right.
I could definitely taste when it's out of season, when it's not ripe enough.
When you farm them yourself.
Well, I think strawberry farms is kind of a part of my identity, that I grew up with it.
As time changes, so does the strawberry story of the Iu Mien people.
It's a dying legacy that's facing a succession crisis. So most of the farms are run by first-generation immigrants, and they're aging out.
Younger generations are planting their own roots.
Honestly, it's hard work, and they have more opportunities here, especially with education. There's no language barrier for them, so they can move beyond just being a farmer, and I think that's what their parents want from them.
A seed planted for future generations. A strawberry and a story worth sharing.